Few little chats fire away.
Who's going?
Congratulations on a stellar win. What was it like having, first and foremost, having the fans back in?
I think it was just incredible, and it's tough because if you didn't have a postcode, Liverpool City region postcode, then you obviously couldn't come and support today. I'm sure they enjoyed watching back at home, but you can definitely hear the fans there. It's just great. It's been so long, isn't it, to actually have fans back, and massive credit to all the staff at Liverpool that have actually worked their butts off to make sure that was able to happen. Heather and Adam have worked so hard behind the scenes to make sure we can get fans here safely to support our women's team, so that's the big plus for me.
Yeah, and obviously the last game, the home game of the year, so how important was it to get the win today?
It's always important to get the win, but certainly at home when you've got fans back in, we owe the fans that 100%, we owe the fans the win, we owe ourselves a win, and I thought 4 well-worked team goals and a clean sheet, we'll take that and we'll smile tonight, but tomorrow we focus on London City Lionesses.
You worked on that as well, sort of being more clinical. Obviously, the first half sort of reminded me a little bit like the Sheffield game. You got the early goal, but then in that game you weren't able to sort of dominate as much. Obviously, this is a very one-sided game, but you know, you went on and were clinical with the chances that you did have.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit different against Sheffield. It was about going ahead and controlling our lead, and we kind of dropped off a little bit. Today it wasn't about that. We go ahead and we keep going and we keep going, and I thought that was probably the best start we've had in a game so far this season, and the way that we ran the line back was really, I thought Ash Hodgson had a very good game. It was a shame that she had to leave the pitch for an injury, but it's the best I've seen from us combining in the final third. It did get scrappy in the second half, which you would have seen in the stands, but that's the Championship. It can be scrappy, and you've got to be able to play scrappy football at times, but then get it down and then get your composure and establish that quality possession that we do have. But to get 4 goals and a clean sheet, I'm really pleased from the girls today and the subs that came on.
Leanne Road was left out of the starting 11. Was that just more of a managing the minutes so far this season because she played quite a bit?
Yeah, it was tough for Roby to sit out because she's been in the starting 11 every single game and she's played full 90 every single game, but Michaela Moore did deserve an opportunity. She's been training really well, and I have been playing Michaela Moore out of position. I know she played as a holding midfielder in Germany, but for New Zealand she's a centre half, and it was important that I get to see her competing at centre half, and I thought she did very well today. So that's the thought process behind that.
Yeah, and then obviously Lestrup got a goal at the end there. How important was that for her and her confidence going forward?
Absolutely. You all know as strikers, you know, if you're not hitting the back of the net, that's the one thing that you want. She does do a lot off the ball. You see her intensity, the way that she presses and drags players out, but ultimately you want a goal, don't you? And you know, I'm delighted that she took a shot there and has finished at the back post, so really pleased from that point of view.
Did you feel today that, you know, the scoreline reflected the performance and you didn't really have to get out of second gear very often in the game?
I think we could have got more goals. What I will say is a massive credit to Crystal Palace, because it was bodies on the line. Their emergency defending there was incredible 90 minutes of the game, because it could have been 5, 6, 7 nil. But ultimately we knew that they would try and catch us on transitions, and you know what, when we played Lewis it cost us. So it was really important that when we lost the ball we established control of the game straight away, and I thought we did well at shutting up quickly, recovery runs underneath the ball and getting pressure on the ball quickly. But the back four managed that transition so well. So all in all, I think I'm really pleased. I know the girls are pleased with the outcome of the game. Obviously everybody wants more goals, every manager will want more goals, but the big one is not conceding.
Sorry, with you know, you're only 2 points behind the leaders now, important to keep in touch with them. As Liverpool and a former Super League side and someone, you know, the name of Liverpool, is that an extra pressure on your players? Sort of, obviously at the moment nothing's decided before Christmas, but you know, you're going to be in and around the title race. Is that an added pressure and do your players sort of, you know, thrive on that and being one of the bigger sides of the division?
For us, we just don't listen to any noise outside of our camp. We're in our own lane, we've got to win our own race regardless to who drops points around us. Obviously, yeah, it's great after our games when we see people dropping points, but for us it's about controlling what we can control, concentrating on our next challenge, which is London City Lionesses, and that's all we can do, because we can't influence anybody else's results that are playing away from here. We can only influence our own, and regardless, there's always an expectation of any team that wears a Liverpool badge, and the girls know that. They don't need to hear it from anybody else. You know, the way that they applied themselves today suggests that the standard was extremely high, But we've just got to focus on our next challenge, and then once we do that, it's the next challenge, and ignore anything else outside of our camp.
So I just wanted to ask you about Taylor Hines, a few words on her as well, because she's obviously come in and been ever present since she signed, and people maybe forget that she's still quite a young player herself, but she seems to have settled in very quickly.
You wouldn't think Taylor was a young player, would you, in the way that she applies herself? She's been an incredible signing for our club, a very secure, experienced left back. She's technically very good. She can play off her left, she can play off her right, she's quick. I think she's contributed fantastically to our squad so far this season. I only brought her off to give Pazza an experience out, which is a challenge for Lucy Parry, because she's up against Baptiste, who's one of their quickest players. So it was a good experience for Lucy, but Taylor was on a yellow card, so we didn't want to risk that. So last 5 minutes we brought her off. But yeah, no, I'm really, really pleased with Taylor. I think sometimes she's an unsung hero, but hopefully she continues her quality attributes that she's been displaying here at Liverpool.
Thank you guys.